Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing 3 Killer Knights. Although admittedly I'm counting 4 in the background, not 3. I'm going with it anyway. Now, today's puzzle is from Megan 033, but it is not a fog puzzle. I mean, I think it'd be fair to say that it is one of his specialities, but I mean, I absolutely love Knight, or specifically in this case, anti-Knight Sudoku puzzles. They're probably one of my favorite. What else am I going to say about this? So obviously it's a weekday puzzle, so it should be highly approachable, 1-star difficulty rated puzzle, and a 93% rating as of the time of recording. So really looking forward to that. And let's just get on with it and see what we have in store for us with 3 Killer Knights by Megan 033 and the following set of rules. By the way, I can't quite see the 3 Killer Knights. Not sure if I should be able to. I can see that there is some shapes that are consistent. Is it meant to be like a face? Arms and nose? I mean, so kind of eyebrows, nose, eyes, mouth, teeth? I don't know. Something. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3x3 box. Nothing unusual there. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. So if you imagine that this cell here is a 2, obviously it can't be in the same row, can't be in the same column, can't be in the same box. So if I color all of these are grey, obviously aside from the 2 itself, none of these can actually be a 2. I meant to just remove the color, whatever. Come on. Now, the other thing, though, however, is that anything that is... Sorry, I can barely see this. There. Anything that is also a chess knight's move away cannot contain the same digit. So, chess knight's move, just a quick reminder, this is that L shape, 2 steps forward, 1 step to the side, or 1 step to the side, 2 steps forward. Any kind of L-shaped move away, or any cell that is an L-shaped move away, if I can actually do this correctly, less helpful when they're in the same box, but still worth highlighting. And in essence, all of these cells, as you can see, including these 2, are a chess knight move away and therefore cannot contain a 2 either. Then last but not least, we've got digits in cages do not repeat and some to the clue in the top left. So if this cell is a 2, to add these 2 cells to 6, which is what has been given here, this would have to be a 4. That's it really in terms of rules. As always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on with this one. So first thing that captures my attention is this is 8, 9. 2 cells that add up to 17 can only be done one way, which is 8 or 9. This cell therefore would have to be 6 or 7, because it can't be 8, 9, and the only way to do 15 in 2 cells is 6 and 9, 7 and 8, and this cell clearly cannot be either of 8 or 9. This cell would be kind of the remainder, which is 8 or 9. If that's 7, that's 8. If this is 6, this is 9. And essentially, these 2 have to be different. I don't know if we're going to color, but okay. I'm really not getting the significance of some of this, by the way. I mean, I'll shout out what I'm seeing. So 6 is either 1, 5 or 2, 4. 5 is either 1, 4 or 2, 3. Because these can repeat, they don't seem to have that much. 8 must contain a 1, and it's either 1, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 5, which means it's unlikely that the 9 has a 1, and this would end up being 2, 3, 4. But again, this cell could be this one. Maybe that's what I should be thinking about. Let's have a think about this. So 8 is either 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. 2 ways. 9 is either 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5 or 2, 3, 4. Now notice that whichever one I pick, one of the digits has to be the same. And the emphasis here is actually on 1, because these are 5 cells in the same box. They all have to be unique. So essentially, if I pick 1, 2, 5, I have to pick another one that is only sharing 1 digit. There's always essentially one that's being shared at least. So it's either the 1, the 2, the 1, the 3, the 2, or the 3 with these cells. Where am I going with this? So 1, 2, 6, I think, could work. Essentially, if it's 1, 3, 4, so 1, 1. So these pair up. 1, 3, 5 won't work with 1, 2, 5, won't work with 1, 3, 4 because they've got more than 2 cells that are common, 1, 5, and then obviously 1, 3. So that's out. 2, 3, 4 won't work with 1, 3, 4, but would work with 1, 2, 5. Interesting. So I'm going to just briefly rewrite this to kind of try and make heads or tails of this. So my options are, if the 1 is the common digit, these are the 1s. Notice that makes this 2, 3. And if there is a 1, if this is a 1, this is 2, 6 in this particular case, meaning that this is 3, 4. And this cell, both see this one, so it'd have to be 2. This would have to be the 3. This couldn't be the 2. This would be the 6. The 3 and 4 seem to be kind of okay. Now, the other grouping is when they have the 2 in common. So that would be the 2. That would be the 2. Obviously, that would make this 1, 4. That can't be the 1 because it sees both of these cells. So that would have to be the 1. That would have to be the 4. And now what I'm trying to put inside that 8 cage is 1, 2, 5. So these would be 2, 5. And this would be 3, 4. And the 4 would see this cell. So that would be the 4. That would be the 3. And this would be the 2, 5. Right. I'm clearly missing this cell that will actually help me resolve all of this. And you can see again an immense amount of pressure on the 6. Notice that this is always 2, 4. It's always 1 of 2 or 4. So I can't put 2, 4 in here because I would break this 5 cage. So this has to be 1, 5, and there's a 1 in here, forces this to be a 2. And in my 2 common digit scenario, that was 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 2, 5. So that's 4, 1, that's 5, 1, and this is, it was 1, 2, 5, wasn't it? So this is a 1, 5 pair, and the 5 is there, and the 1 is there. Hopefully that all makes sense. Yeah, I'm good with that. Now a 1, 5 in here makes this 2, 4. We've got the inverse going. I've only just noticed this. I'm so sorry. It took me so long. All right, 5 cage, 15. They both add up to 20. 8 cage, 22. They add up to 30. 9 cage and 21. So I imagine, although the fact that this is a 6 cage with 2 and 4. So essentially the way to think about the 22 cage is it must contain a 9. And notice that all of these cells will see this one, either with Sudoku or with night move. 22 because it must contain a 9. If it doesn't contain a 9, it's 6, 7, 8. That's 21. That has to be an 8. That has to be a 7. That 8 gives me a 9 and an 8. Lovely. The 8 now is outside the 22 cage. And the 22 cage, there were 2 options, I'm going to say, in there. It was 6, 7, 9, 5, 8, 9. So essentially 13 and 9 to get 22. And this can't be 8, so this is 6, 7, 9. I'm just going to pencil mark them all for now. That clearly is not a 7. Not sure I can do much more just yet. Now, I have more options on the 21 cage because I can do 6, 7, 8. And it's a sort of reverse or inverse of what was going on here. So I'm pretty sure the fact that I picked 6, 7, and 9 means that there is a common digit that would have to be in this corner. Let me just think about, so my 22 options were 6, 7, 9, and obviously 5, 8, 9. And the 21 cage, I'm guessing just like the 9, I had 3 options, one that contains a 9, and then 2 cells that add up to 14. So that would have been, no. Is it 2 cells? 2 cells that add up to 12, excuse me. And because 9, 3 is out, so it would have been 5, 7, 9, and 4, 8. And then the last one, which doesn't contain a 9, is 6, 7, and 8. Now, it was the same thing where we're trying to avoid having too many common digits because 5 of them have to be unique in here. So my guess is 489 doesn't work. Yep, shares 2 with here. Actually, 489 does. Interesting. The common digit would be the 9, and then this would be a 4-8 pair. So 489 is good. Which one did I exclude? I excluded the 135. So it's probably the 579 that is excluded. Yes, 7, 9 shares 2 digits here. 5 and 9 shares 2 digits there. So that's gone. And then it's going to have a common pairing once again. So depending on what is the common digit that we're trying to create, is it, we ended up with a 2 or a 1. So I'm guessing the common pairing was an 8 or a 9. So if it's an 8, it's clearly a 6, 7, 8. And if it's a 9, it's clearly with the 6, 7, 9 and the, what was it, 4, 8, 9? I believe. Is that correct? Let me just think about this. Yeah, single common digit, single common digit. And because we picked the 6, 7, 9, it has to be 4, 8, 9, with the common digit being the 9 down here. And now this is 4, 8, although it is resolved with that 4. That's 8, that's 4. That 9 sees both of these cells, so they're not 9. Theirs is a 9. And we've got clearly more than a break-in at this point. 10 cage, less interesting. I can only see a 1. 9 cage, not sure either. Probably time to do a bit of Sudoku. 9 cage, for example. 9s cannot be in any of these. Can't be inside the 2-cell 9 cage. Can only be in here. 2, no, can be. Less interesting. There's a bit of asymmetry going on, and I think it's probably down to the 6s, of all things. 9 again means that's a 9. 8 has to be in here, but it can't be this cell. That's nice move. That's the 8. Let's just think about what's going on in here. 3 is none of these cells. 3 could be one of these two. Not very exciting, is it? What about this row? We've got 3, 5, and 6. Clearly not a 5. 3 or 6. Could be any of them. Could be any of them. Okay. Feel like I'm missing how clever this puzzle is with the way I just systematically keep moving around without necessarily making any fantastic deductions. I need 2, 4, and 5. That's not a 2, that's a 5. This is a 2-4 pair. Interesting kind of play here with knight's move. 2 and 4, 2 and 4, yeah, it's all done. In here is another 3, 6, and a 7, and an 8. Which means there is another 3, 6 in here. I mean, this is the 3, 6. Then there's a second 3, 6, plus a 1, plus a 5. Okay. Not at all playing like I'm expecting. Should I be thinking about the 15 cage? So, okay, so let's do something. This is not 3, 6. And in fact, the 8 tells us there has to be an 8 in here, so this is 1, 8, which gives me nothing in the column. Fair enough. 7s are not here. 7 is in one of these 2 cells, which gives me 6 and 7. Doesn't help me with my 3, 6. Doesn't help me with any of the 3, 6s. 1 is not here, but 1 can be there. So essentially I need another 3, 6, a 1 and a 5. Yeah, not getting the significance of this. What about this kind of tucked in square? Is that interesting at all? So this is obviously not 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, but it can be 7, 8, or 9. This is not 9, 6, 7, 8, or 4, but it could be 5, not 3, not 1, but it can be 2. This is playing quite unusually. It's not what I'm expecting. So I have a second 2, 5, a 1, and a 3. Well, 1 and 3. So 1 is in none of these cells in this row. That's the only place for a 1, and therefore that's not a 1. These two cells are 3 and 6, which I seemingly cannot resolve still. I end up with 3, 6 in the column, but it doesn't seem particularly helpful. I have 2 of 7, 8, 9, and a 2 or 5. So this cell is not 8 or 9 or 5. This is 2 or 7. This cell is not 9, 7, but it can be 8, and it can be 5, and it can be 2. This is very messy. What about here? Not 9, not 7, still can be 8. Can't be 5, but can be 2. So 2, 8. I mean, it looks exhaustive, but interesting. I mean, obvious 9 is none of these. 9 is not that. Maybe that's what I should have spotted earlier. Sorry about that. And because this is 2 or 5, I have to have a 7 in here, and 7 is neither of these. I've probably made it way harder for myself there. Then I have another 2, 5, 8, and then a 9 and a 6. Not getting the significance of that. And then 3 cells that we just know what they are. And they're not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 6, 7, and 8. How did I manage that? There is no 6. Because there's a 3, 6 in here. It was 9 and something else. What was the other digit? So we need another 2, 5, 8. And a 4, of course. And then the optionality that I have is around the 2 and the 5. This 2, 5 specifically. Okay. Not learned anything about the 10 cage in all of this. Kind of wondering if I should be thinking more about the 15 cage, and I haven't. 9 is in one of 2 cells. 9 is in none of these. 9 can easily be inside the 15 cage. That still leaves me a remainder of 6, so plenty of choices. 2, 4, and 1, 5. I guess I am doing a lot more pencil marking then. So what do I know for sure? That 2 and 4 are down here. And clearly, they both can't be in this cell, so one of them is inside here with the 10. So this is either a 2, 8 or a 4, 6. Interesting. And what else do we know? 3 and 7 have still not been placed. 3 is not here because of knight move. 3... Hang on, excuse me. 3 cannot be the cell. This is 2 or 4. So where is 3 in the column? Well, it's not here because of knight move. It's not there. That's the only place for it. This is 3, that's 6. And then I have... So I've got essentially the 2s and 4s covered. And then one of the 6 and 8s. Another one potentially in there. So this feels like this is just 6, 7, 8. I mean, this is basically the rest of this box, isn't it? And this is 1, 3, 5. Not 1. not 5. Not a lot to go on. Seven can't reach any of these. So we have another 6, 7, 8, a 9, and a 3 in here somewhere. Another 6, 7, 8, a 1, and a 5. I feel like I'm dancing around the 15 cage, but it's just... Let's think about it. So 1 is obviously in one of these 3 cells. Can I have a 1 inside this 15 cage? Possibly. The 2 neighbors would have to add up to 14, and it can't be 6, 8, so it'd have to be 5, 9. The 9 in here wouldn't work, so that would be the 5. That would be the 9. And so far, I'm not seeing a problem with any of that. Now, if there isn't a 1, I still have a ton of options. Not a 9. I mean, I'm going to just tidy up my pencil marks, maybe. And just see if I can get what's going on. So this is 2 or 4. So on this end, this is 1, 2, 4, and 3, 6. So this is 1, 2, 4, 3, 6. Can I exclude any of them? I can exclude both of the 3 6s because I can see both of them with knight move. So this is down to 1, 2, or 4. We've already thought about the 1. What's the significance of the 2? The 2 would need 2 cells that add up to 13. And again, 5, 8 is excluded. I think 7, 6 works. 7 in here, 6 in there. 9, 4 works. 9 here, 4 there. Yeah, so 2 is fine with 2 options. 4 with 11 to go. And it's clearly not 4, 7. Could it be 2, 9? Yes, the 9 can be here, the 2 could be there. Is it kind of the play with the 10 cage? Is that what I'm meant to see and I'm not seeing? Yeah, these 2 cells cannot be in here. Yeah, so I am going to pencil mark the 15 cage. I'm not keen. Absolutely kind of being upfront about this, not keen. So 1 with 5 and 9. 2 with, we needed 13 and it couldn't be 8, 5. 6, 7 works with a 7 in here and a 6 in there. And 4, 9 works with a 9 in here and a 4 in there. 2, 4 would make this the 6, 8 and then would make this the 2, 4. Still fine. And then 4, we required 11. And 11 would have needed, well, 2, 9, 9 here, 2 there. 3, 8 doesn't work. 4, 7 wouldn't work. 5, 6. I'm missing significance of 5, 6 maybe. 5 wouldn't be here. The 5 would be there. The 6 would be here. So the only thing that we've been able to do is say if this is 4, it required a 6 and then it would force this to be 2, 8. Hardly the revelation. I'm missing things that are way more obvious, I'm sure of it now. Right, 1, 3, 2, 5. Essentially I have another 2, 4, 5, a 7. Do you mean to put... Oh, it can be 3. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Interesting. Now this row feels very restricted for all of these options of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. If that was 1, that was 5 and 9. Yeah, I could still do low digits. This is 2, 3, 4, or 5. I mean, no 4, so this is 2, 3, or 5. It does give me a 4 in the column. That's the only place for it. It gives me a 2. It's not a 2, not a 2. Has no meaning on the 2 4s here. Removes a 2 option from there. I can't even remember, was it 1, you know, yeah, 4, 2, 9. That was the option, but again, hardly much of a removal. That can be 2 as well, can't it? Right, 2 now has to be in one of these 3 cells. So the only place for a 2 in column 2 is in one of these 2. So this is not 1, 2, 3, 5, which is what it started as. I removed the 2 option. This is 1, 3, 5. Not enough. 2 is in one of these 2 places. Alongside the 3, 5. It does give me 1, 3, 5. So down here I have another 3, 5. Plus 6, plus 2. 2 and 6 are in here. Again, not quite getting the significance of that with an optional 3, 5. And then there's an optional 3, 5, a 7. This is clearly not a 1 with a 1, 8. No 8s. Can be 8, can be 8, can be 8. I mean, did I say that, you know, chess knight moves are some of my favorite? 3, 6 pair means that couldn't have been a 6. I think the 6 is important. It was when we were doing 4, 5, 6. I don't think this can be 4 anymore. So this can't be 6. Let's just understand what that means. Essentially, these 2 cells either add up to 6 with 2 and 4, or when it's a 7, they add up to 8. And the 4 won't be involved, so I don't think this can be a 4 anymore. I think we can actually limit this a lot more had I paid attention to that 3, 6 pair. How are we doing for time? 24 minutes. I think sometimes Sleuth is the master of making a straightforward puzzle seem a lot harder than it really is. 1 with 5, 9 works. 2 with whatever it was, we needed to get 13. 6 and 7 works. 5 and 8 doesn't. 9 and 4 would have, surely. So I don't have to remove that 4. And then the 4 is starting to look tricky, because 2, 9 is out. 3, 8 was always out. 4, 7 can't be in. Then 5 and 6 doesn't work, because that can't be 5 or 6. So 4 is indeed out. Whoopie-doo. Just having a think about where the 9 can go is still in one of 3 places. So it's not like even I could make much of a deduction here. We said it's another 2, 5, 8, a 4, and a 9. That's why we ended up with 2 or 4 in here. I think we're going to have to keep pencil marking more. Unbelievably. Not really my thing. Not an 8. One is in one of 2 places in here. So the 2 and 4 was useful, but again, the 3 is not as helpful. The 5 is in one of 2 cells. then 6, 7, 8 are basically all over the place until we figure out what's going on with these. I must be missing something more obvious. Five can't be here, so 5 can't be in any of these. So 5 is in one of these two cells, which removes the 5 option from here. I can't remember the significance of the 5. It was the 5, 9 option when this is 1, because there was no other option. So this has to be 2. Makes the 1s line up there, and therefore that's a 1 and that's an 8. That 2 pops a 4 up here. And with this being a 2, these two cells need to add up to 13. Both of these work. And this is essentially a 1, 3, 6 pair. The 2 just removes a 2 from here, just removes a 2 from there. Doesn't help me resolve this 10 cage. Yeah, back to pencil marking more. So we did say this is a 2, 5, 8 and a 9. And then I spotted quite late that this is not a 5. 5's on this side, 5's on that side. Not a huge deduction there. 2, 8. Can't place it. 2, 5, 8, 9. Can't place that either. Kind of starting to think that may be better off so that you guys are not, oh, hang on, 1, 3, 5. One of them is a 5. That can't be a 5. That's a 2. That's an 8. That's a 5. That took a while. That's not 8. This is not 5 or 8. That 8 hasn't helped me. That 5 is not there. That 5 hasn't helped me there either. This is not a 2. This is a 1, 3, 5. I'm going to remove, I'm pretty sure I meant to say remove the corner pencil marks. Thank you. And I don't need these corner pencil marks either. No, the 1 can't. It's too far. So 2, 6 and 1, 3, 5. We know that one of these is a 1, but not much more than that. Maybe not the day for a chess knights puzzle for me. 30 minutes. Come on, sleuth. Not an 8 again. Gives me a 6, 7 pair and therefore a triple in here. Notice that the 8 is not there either. That's an 8, 9 pair. And this is a digit that I can actually place. Been a while since I wrote in a digit. That's lovely. A 3 that hasn't helped me at all. Seriously? Right, so the 1, 5 are joint with the 6 or 8 that's not in here. In fact, the 8, 9 pair helps me. This can only be 4, 6. This can only be a 2 now. These are not 6s. They're 7, 8s. This is now known. This is 1, 5, 7 of some description. That's not the 1. These cannot be 7s anymore. Again, I can lose the corner pencil marks. So 6. I mean, I'm going to have to keep pencil marking. Unfortunately, you could start to do interesting things with knight Sudoku or anti-knight Sudoku, but I need kind of more information really to be able to use it. That 8 gave me a 9 and an 8. So 9 is none of these cells. If you remember, 9 was one of these 3. So 9 is not here, not there, not there, not here. That's the only place for a 9. These 2 cells add up to 11, and therefore that's 4. That's 6, that's 4. This is not 4. It's still 3, 5, 7. That's not a 6. This is 3, 5, 7. It's not a 7, it's 3, 5. This is a 2, 6 pair. This is a 2, 6 pair that's resolved by that 2. I think we're picking up steam now. We've kind of broken the back of this puzzle, I'm hoping. That 6 gives me a 1. Still a 3, 6 pair that's not resolved. The 1 is removed from there. That's a 1. I think we might actually have completed a digit. We've got 9 ones. Not yet. Yeah, not yet. Don't celebrate too early. Three's not here. Three's not there. It's 1 or 2 cells. Right, I am going to just pencil mark this box. Is the conclusion here. And let's see how we can see what's going on. So 3s, 5s, 7s. That's a 5-7 pair. And 8, sorry, 6 and 8. That is not 3 or 6. That's the 8. This is a 3-6 pair. I've got a lot of these 3-6 pairs, so I'm guessing knight move is going to save us at some point. That 8 doesn't seem significant. 5-7 pair gives me a digit that I can actually place. That's a 4. Can I actually say I've done 9 4s? Yes, I can. That 2 isn't helping. And this is 3-5-7. It's not 3. This is just 5-7. Right. That's not what I meant to do. Corner pencil mark's gone. Right. So we've done all the killer cages. This is just down to knight move right now for me to spot what am I missing. And it's probably something that's been missing for the vast majority of this solve. And this is probably why I've struggle bus through this so much. Come on. I'm just gonna do something cheeky. Bit of coloring, coloring, coloring. The 3 6s. Maybe it will actually sort of trigger something for me. Do I need to color the 5 7s? Maybe. I'm doing it. And blue is one of these. Okay. Two. It's given me 9. It's given me 2. I don't think that's necessarily helped me. I think that was just because we've got, yeah, 9 9s and 9 2s. Because I seem to have, aside from this sort of 6 7 8 setup, basically it's about 5 7s, 1 3 5s. Yeah. Let me just see the 6 7 8. What's going on there? Kind of surprised these are still not resolved. But they're too far to interact with anything. So, you know, if I had a cell that can see both blue and green, I can eliminate the 7 from it, but I don't seem to be able to. Same goes for if there's a cell that sees purple and orange, I could have eliminated the 3, but again, I don't seem to have that. Kind of wondering if I switch on pencil mark checking on, would I see something obvious like that? Probably. That 7 surely helped, yes. That's not what I meant to do. Execute. I'm kind of almost half tempted for my own entertainment to play this puzzle again with pencil mark checking on, just to see how much of the odd digit here and there that I missed slowed down the solve, because I imagine it did that quite a bit. Oh, come on, there must be something here that's I'm missing. So the 3s, yes, 1, 5 and 3, 5, 1 and 3 if I've not made any mistakes. Yeah, I made this way harder than it really is. I'm sure that you guys are going to leave a few comments about some of the obvious anti-knight that I've missed that made this a bit longer. Regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and weren't occasionally frustrated like I was. And I'll see you back soon for the next one. Bye-bye for now.